We're going to be covering how to buy the best used car. That's what we're going to cover today. If you like the video, click on like. If you're new to my channel, by the way, just subscribe to it at the same time and you'll get my weekly videos. And if you do like the video and you're thinking, oh, I want to make a donation, fantastic, and anything's appreciated, there's a link below on the coffee button. Just click on it, it'll take you straight to it and you can donate to my page. Thank you very much, anything's appreciated. So I'm going to split it into two categories, how to buy the best second-hand car. You got two ones. You got the nearly new and the used ones. Now, the nearly new one, they're basically cars that are less than probably a year old. It's probably an ex-demonstrator model or an ex-company car that someone's left and they want to send it back to a dealership, and they've probably got less than 1,000 miles on it. So, or it's probably something that's probably got maybe delivery miles. So something else that they do is the dealers tend to buy lots of cars into and hoping that they're going to sell them, and there might be a couple of cars sat on the forecourt for a few months just doing nothing, and they might have like 4 or 5 or 10 miles on the clock, and they're registered to that to that dealership, so they're not brand new at that point, so they're nearly new, so they're practically new, but you can get a bargain. And I'll give you an example of this one here. When I was looking for a new car, this is going back about 15-20 years ago, I used Motorpoint, and I'll put a link below for Motorpoint. It was quite good at the time because they had some nearly new cars on there, and I remember picking up a Skoda Fabia that had, I think it was 9 miles on the clock, so it wasn't brand new because it had been registered at a dealership, and it was just sat on the forecourt for about 6-7 months, just doing nothing. So I got a bargain, I saved myself a few £1,000s at that point. So that's just one example. The other category is a used car, and that tends to be anything over a year old that's got a few thousand miles on the clock. So it can go for a year old, 2, 3, 4, up to 10-year-old, or even older than that, really. I suppose it's all down to your budget and what you want. But if you're thinking, oh God, I don't know what to do, it's my first car, then there's going to be a car at the top there, and I'm going to put a link in the description on how to check and test drive a used car. This is one I uploaded recently. That'll certainly help you on the step to that, what to do. So yeah, it comes to two categories, which would be nearly new and used. So the first thing that you want to do then is, once you've decided what kind of car you're looking for, is say, right, I need to sit down, get myself a pad out and start writing down what I want to get out of this car. Where it's going to be 3-door, 5-door, where it's going to be hatchback, estate, a mini, super mini, convertible, all these things. You got to write down what you want to get, and don't go into like dream cloud 9. If this is your first car you're looking for, you've got to be a bit realistic here, because if you say, right, I'm going to get a Porsche and it's going to be that turbo on it, all this sort of stuff, then the chances are you're not going to get insured. so be realistic with what you want and look at your budget at the same time and say, right, this is what I want to pay and this is what I can pay. Because you might see a car, just say you've set a budget of £2,000 for a car, and in that budget you've seen a car that's 2,200. Now don't dismiss that car, because you can haggle the price at the end, so you might even get it cheaper than the £2,000. But I'm just giving you ideas here. So yeah, think about the size of the engine also. You could even contact an insurance company and just say, well, I'm looking at cars at the moment, and I'm looking at Hyundai i10s, or I'm looking at Fiestas, or I'm looking at Vauxhall Adams, and I want to know what it's going to cost me insurance. Give you an idea what it's going to cost, because I remember speaking to a guy a couple of years ago. I was teaching to drive, and I turned up for his house. He's got a lovely car outside, a nice yellow one it was. And I said, it's a nice sporty car. He goes, oh, it's mine, that. Only a 17-year-old lad. I said, looks a bit big for you, that. What size engine? Oh, it's a 1.8 engine. So I said, oh, right, okay. Have you checked your insurance? He said, well, it's a bargain. My mates were selling it really cheap. I said, have you checked your insurance? He said, why? I said, well, because I bet they won't insure you. Anyway, next time I come along, the car had gone. He said to me, I sold it on, they won't even touch me, insurance companies, because it costs a fortune. Because I'll learn to drive as a 1.8 turbo, can't remember what it was, but it was something silly. So yeah, do contact your insurance companies, and like I say, make a list of what you want to achieve when you start looking for cars. Once you've made your list, consider the running costs. Consider the age of the car that you're looking for, because obviously if you're going to get a car, say 2-3 years old, then it's probably going to be still under warranty. So there's going to be certain things covered. It might even be still under service warranty, because some cars will offer 3, 5 or 7 year warranty service costs. So that's something to consider. But if you're looking for older ones, then you might have to include services in that. So maybe once a year you have to do a service. So do a bit of research. So if you're going to go for a particular maker car, like a Ford or a Vauxhall, just have a look at the reliability, have a look at the running costs. You can research this by just typing a few things on Google, and it'll give you an idea of what you might have to pay out each year. Because if, just say for instance, I'll use this as an example, I'm not saying they're bad or good, but a Fiesta, everyone knows what a Fiesta looks like. They're well known, you can get the parts quite easy, they're usually quite easy to fix. I don't know what the running costs are of a Fiesta, so I'd have to look it up, because if I want to buy one, I want to think, right, is it going to cost me cheap to buy, cheap to run, cheap to fix? You know, these are the things you've got to think like. Okay, so think about the running costs of the car as well. So once you've thought about the running costs, say to yourself, right, I'm going to keep an open mind. I want a nice car, and I'll use me example here. When I was a young lad looking at my first car, everyone was getting, I think it might have been Ford Cortinas, or they're the bigger ones. I think I was looking at Ford Escorts, and it wasn't brand new, it was the old ones at the time, but I couldn't afford them. They were too expensive. And in the end, I think, right, well, what can I afford? And that's where I use my budget. I think, right, I've got this amount. I had 500 quid to spend, and I had so much 100 quid for insurance, so I wanted a car that had within my budget and had an MOT and had tax on it, so all I had to pay for was insurance. So think of it like that. So I ended up going for an unpopular make, and I got a Lada Riva, and it done me for 2 years, so it's fine, done the job, and I saved a fortune. So keep an open mind, don't dismiss unpopular cars, you know, think about your price and your budget at the same time. When you've seen a car, get it valued. I mean, I'm going to use this one example, but it's out there. AutoTrader got a valuation on their website, you know, so you could use that to get it valued. I don't know what it's going to cost, whether it's free or whether it costs you money, but there's others out there, so don't feel like that's just the main one. Just have a look at what you can get valued for. So if, just say for instance, you see a car and they're saying they want $4,000 for it, and you're thinking, oh, I'm not too sure, it looks good, just get a quick valuation, see if it's worth that. Because if the valuation is saying, well, that kind of car is typically £3,500 or 3,200, then you've got a bit of haggling space, haven't you? Say, well, I like it, but I've had that valued, and they're saying it's worth less than what you're asking for, so you can haggle. So it might be money well spent. So there's 3 ways that you can buy a second-hand car that I know about. That is, you've got the dealerships. So you see them around, Ford dealerships, Vauxhall, Honda dealership. All the main cars have got a dealership somewhere in your town. So you just need to go along and have a look. Now, the dealerships tend to have a little bit more of a premium price because they want to make money out of it. But in return, it's probably been checked over pretty well, and there'll be a little bit of a warranty with it. Now, depending on the age, it might be 3 months, it might be 6 months, it might be a year. Do look at what they're offering. They might be able to throw a couple of things in extra, but you usually pay a little bit more at the same time. But it's kind of pros and cons. The other one will be a private seller. It'll be someone who Joe Bloggs is selling his car, so you might be able to get it cheaper because they just want to get a price that they're happy with. They're not bothered so much about making loads of money out of it, as long as they're not going to lose a fortune. And then you've got the other one, which is car auctions, which is you go along and you can view the cars in advance, or maybe on the day, and then there's an auction where you bid for the car. So it's a little bit risky, but you can sometimes get bargains. So there's different ways to look at it. But if you're going to go to an auction, I would recommend taking someone along who knows a little bit about cars, because you might get a car there that doesn't actually run. So once you've seen the car that you like, you think, all right, I'm going to put a deposit on it. get a check on it. I think they call them provenance checks, where they'll check to see if there's any outstanding finance on the car, and they'll check to see if it's been in a serious crash or it's been written off in the past. Because if you're seeing a car that's really cheap, then you really want to be asking yourself, why is it cheap? Because people don't give bargains away for nothing. You know, they want to make money out of it. So if you're looking at, say, 5 cars, all the same, and they're all about within 500 quid of each other, and then the last one is like £2,000 cheaper, then there should be alarm bells ringing at that point. Why is it £2,000 cheaper? Well, that guy's saying he's selling it because his auntie's unfortunately passed away. That might be true, but he might also be lying. So it's worth spending about £20 to get it checked out, just to make sure that it's not a dodgy. So you can put a deposit down, say £50 deposit, and you'll be back in a couple of days time, or you're back next day, and get it checked out. You know, it's worth it. One of the biggest things people don't like doing is haggling. And I'm going to give you a cracking example here of haggling. Now, I'm quite nice and laid back and talk to people all the time. My wife, she's a quiet person, but she shocked me to death, she did, years ago, when we were at a car dealership. And I'll try and use the right words that she used here. We were looking at, it was a Rover 214, and it was a really nice car, and it's second-hand. And the guy saying, blah, 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 giving a lot of hassle, saying it's really good, and all this sort of stuff. And we said, oh, we really like it. And he goes, do you want a sign for it? And he goes, well, we like it, but don't like the price. And he goes, what? He goes, well, I like it, but I don't like the price. And I looked and thought, wow, she's just straight out of it. She wants a bargain off him. So she straight into it. I want a deep discount, she says. And I can't remember. Just say it was £4,000 the car was. I think she got it for £3,000 in the end. But he was kind of like taken back straight away, and I'm looking at it thinking, oh, right, she's haggling, great. So haggle, don't be surprised, and they're going to throw it back at you. So if a car is worth £4,000, just say, why? I like the car, I love the car, I really want to sign, but I just don't think it's worth that. I want to pay. Or you could say, I don't think it's worth that. They'll come back, what do you think it's worth? And what are you thinking? Well, I'm thinking 3,200. They'll say, I can't do that. Or they'll walk off and speak to their boss and come back, I can't do that. And I say, well, what can you do? And they'll say, well, we can do 3,800. It's like everyone takes deep breaths all the time. So don't be happy with 3,800. Oh, well, it's getting close. What about if we do 3,500 then? And they'll go away again, come back, 3,700. Okay. Save yourself 300 quid straight away. That might pay for insurance or part of the insurance. So haggle, it's worth it in the end. So another one to consider is trade the car in. So you've actually got yourself a car, or you're thinking, right, okay then, I've been learning this car here. It's a bit of a heap, to be honest, but it's done the job. It's got me through my driving test, but I'm going to trade it in now. Or I've been driving for years, I'm going to trade it in. I've seen a really nice car at a dealership. You can trade that car in. Trade the car in, they'll take it off your hands possibly. They're not going to give you a great price, I have to say, because just say just say they offer you £500 for a car. You think, I thought it was worth more than that. It probably is worth more than that. It's probably worth maybe £700 or £800. So it's the kind of compromise. Do I trade it in? Forget about the car. They'll take it off my hands. I don't have to worry about anything. I don't have to try and sell it. So that's the kind of nice thing to do. Or you can say, well, I'm not going to trade it in because they've offered me a rubbish price. I'm going to sell it privately and try and make some money that way. Okay, so there's a compromise there, and you've got to consider what's easy for you. If you're going to buy a car, then there's a couple of things you can do. You can either pay by cash or put on finance. And just say you've seen a car in a showroom for £2,000. It's second-hand one, obviously, at that price. And they're advertising at £2,000. You could go in there and you can haggle a price off them, and they'll be saying to you, how are you going to pay for it? Because they want to know whether they want to do a finance deal with you. Because if they're going to do finance, they're going to try and make money out of the finance. So I'm going to pay cash. All right, okay, fine. So get a discount because you're paying cash. Because I'm paying you cash, I can give you the money today. And if it's the end of the month when they know they've got to do so many deals before the end of the day, then you might get yourself a bargain. All right. But if you haven't got the money and you want to do finance, then look at it, make sure you can afford it, because that money's going to come out probably once a month out of your account. So do be careful that you're overstretching yourself. Okay. Good luck when you're looking out for these cars. I'm hoping these videos are helping you. Take care.